It is October 30th of 2025, and it is time for another episode of Shit Hit the Fan News, guys. I'm going to take whatever happens tomorrow and roll it into November's episode because I'm going to tell you what, man, for sure news is going to drop tomorrow because that's how October's been, man. I got 3 pages of notes. I've never had 3 pages of notes. But I know how it is. Y'all's time is precious, man. I'm going to try and just do my best to burn through it and keep it around 20 minutes. If you're new here, this is basically a once-a-month deal where this old-school survivalist and prepper shares his thoughts regarding the news cycle and like the things I think that we should be paying attention to. All right, the big stuff that happened. And the goal here is to kind of just save you some time and to have some fun. Comments down below. And while I'm at it, make sure you like it and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right after it, pimps. Probably the largest piece of news that you did not hear about was dropped on the Baron Coleman podcast. This guy basically has been digging around regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination narrative. And one of the things he decided to dig into was Tyler Robison. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Who knows Tyler Robinson's middle name? You probably don't know it, right? Maybe 1 out of 100 of you guys are going to know it. I'll tell you what, I didn't know what it was before watching this clip of this podcast either. It's James. Tyler James Robison. Now, what Baron has been doing here is he's been digging into Google Trends. And what Google Trends is, like every time you get on Google and you search for something, Google keeps track of what you typed in and what you were searching. And you can get on their app called Google Trends. And you can go back large periods of time if you want, and you can search for certain things and see if anybody else was searching them. And Baron Coleman decided to search Tyler James Robison and found that lots of searches for his full name came up after the Charlie Kirk assassination, but also his full name was searched the day before the Charlie Kirk assassination. And it was searched in D.C. and in Huntsville, Alabama. And there just happens to be a massive FBI field office in Huntsville, Alabama. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidence, guys. And you have this time frame before those September 9th searches where this guy's name was not searched at all. So nobody is searching Tyler James Robison at all. The day before the assassination, he gets searched multiple times in D.C. and in Huntsville, and then gets searched after the assassination occurs. A lot. It seems to me like the FBI had foreknowledge of Tyler Robison's plans, or they were looking for a patsy. It's one of the two. And speaking of the FBI, let's do a little sideline here into news that just dropped today. Apparently, Kash Patel obstructed Joe Kent, who's the head of the National Counterterrorism Center, from investigating to see if a foreign power might have been involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. It just gets more and more fishy, right? It's officially a cover-up. If the shitty narrative the FBI is sticking to doesn't tell you that, man, like this should. And speaking of Kash Patel, man, he's bad-mouthing people like me. That's right, he's calling us anarchists because we question the Charlie Kirk narrative. Everybody with 2 brain cells to rub together is questioning your shitty narrative, Kash. Do better next time you want to cover for Mossad. Oh boy, has Mossad and Israel been in the news in October, man. That's another big one that happened this month, man. Candace Owens dropped proof that Charlie Kirk was separating himself from his Israeli funders. In Charlie Kirk's own words, quote, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause, end quote. I'm going to tell you guys, man, I think they knew he was going to bail. I think they knew that he was going to start bad-mouthing what Israel was doing in Gaza. And his audience is just too big. And his audience is a large part of the future of America. Like Israel, we're going to get into them some more. Let's get into the next piece of news because this is going to kind of just help paint the picture here. There were FARA documents, that's Foreign Agents Registration Act documents. And what FARA is it's basically a law that requires foreign agents to explain why they're spending money in America. Okay, and in these documents, it showed that Israel has been investing money to influence evangelical Christians because that's been a large part of their support in America. And why would Israel spend money to influence evangelical Christians? Well, Israel's spending money to influence everybody in America, man. They are spending a ridiculous amount of money. And when you consider the fact that we give them billions of dollars a year, the American taxpayer is basically funding Israel's propaganda machine against us. I'm going to turn you guys on to an article written on X. It's pretty damn good, man. I'm going to put the link in the description below. It's called Israel's Eighth Front War. And it is all about their America propaganda machine. Go check it out, pimps. Why is all this important? Because a lot of you as survivalists and preppers might question that. Might be like, oh, I don't really care if the FBI is lying to us about Charlie Kirk. You know, that's not going to cause shit hit the fan to happen. Unquestioningly believing what your government tells you will lead to democide in America or Canada or Australia, wherever it is you are. Blindly believing what your government tells you, it takes us down the road to democide. It's just one of the many things that's going to get us there. And I'll tell you guys what, man, if you look at the history of violent revolutions, America is almost there. It's almost to the boiling point. And when it hits that boiling point, it will move so rapidly, your head is going to spin. The government shutdown. Let's talk about it, dudes. So you got really both parties are responsible. You have the Republicans that are like, oh, we want a fiscally responsible bill. And you got the Democrats that want anything but that so that they can pander to their base. That's really what's happening. Okay? You don't have to agree with me, but they're both responsible for the shutdown because there's absolutely no compromise. This is where we are in America today. The right and the left cannot compromise and will not compromise with each other. And the result of that is going to be that 42 million Americans do not get their EBT food stamp benefits in November. And I got this kind of cool chart. I'll throw it up real quick, guys. It's compliments of Dale Cloudman on X. He's the one that came up with the numbers over on the right. And the numbers on the right, by the way, I should point out, were collected by the FDA in 2023. The numbers on the left were collected in 2024, so they're actually newer. But here's what you're looking at. Food stamps by ethnicity on the left is basically per capita. So you can see that almost half of the Afghani families in America are collecting food stamps. And if you go all the way down to the bottom, you can see that less than 5% of Indian families in America are collecting food stamps. Now on the right is the total amount of SNAP, like where the money actually goes. And you'll see that the largest receiver of SNAP benefits is white Americans. Now these numbers are actually a little lower in 24. I want to say they're around 35.6% or something like that for white America. But if you look at per capita, 8.6% of white households are getting SNAP benefits. Just kind of interesting. I thought it was interesting to see who the biggest bums are in America by ethnicity. I mean, that's basically what we're looking at, right? Because whites still make up the massive majority of Americans. Let's take a look at black Americans real quick. 24.9% per capita are on food stamps. And I'm bringing up black Americans because they're the ones that seem to be posting all these viral TikTok videos about how they're just going to loot to feed themselves. And I even saw a video where a lady was saying that she's going to eat white people and that the black community is going to eat white people if they have to survive. Funny shit, man. But we're going to see 42 million people aren't going to get these food stamps, man. And shit could get crazy. I just want to let you guys know that how I think this really affects you as a survivalist is that when you're going to the store next month, you might want to make sure you're armed and you might want to make sure that you watch your back. Switching gears, the No Kings protest was boring as fuck. Hopefully that would be an indicator that the food stamp thing won't go nuclear. But I don't think so, guys. We're talking, what, like 700,000 people showed up to the No Kings protest versus 42 million not getting food stamps? There is a drastic difference in those numbers, man. We're pretty far into this thing already, guys, so I'm just going to start burning through it, man. It was good to see Portland police finally doing their fucking jobs. Like, how disgusting being a Portland police officer. If you're a Portland cop and you're watching this video, man, move. Move. And if you live in Portland, move. Because if it isn't clear to you that your elected officials will let your city burn to push their politics, you're probably never going to get it. But that's the kind of place you're living, man. And if these people not getting their EBT food money throw an absolute hissy fit in November and you live in Portland, guess what? There's a good chance a lot of that place is going to burn down, man. I'd get the hell out of there. DHS dropped a report about FEMA being politicized during the last administration to a point where they would not aid people with pro-Trump signage in their yard. Matt Taibbi was talking about this. And you know what? We kind of saw it happening when it was going down, and we knew it was happening. And it's just disgusting, right? That you wouldn't help somebody in need because of their political affiliation. And this is progressives. I want to make it very clear to you. It's progressives. And progressives are pieces of shit. Stereotypes are earned, guys. They're not given. And progressives have completely earned this piece of shit stereotype. Documents have been released showing that Jack Smith, special counsel, this is the guy that raided Mar-a-Lago and was really going after Trump hard. He illegally surveilled 8 sitting Senate Republicans without a warrant after January 6th. And guess what? His ass is probably going to go to prison for it. And good. He should, man. Again, progressives. Jack Smith, progressive. I thought this was an interesting piece of news because Virginia Guiffrie, am I saying her last name right? She's one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and some of his homeboys. She actually passed away, but she wrote a book before she died, and she named Ehud Barak as one of the guys that victimized her. We'll put it like that, okay? And I've been talking about who Ehud Barak is. I think it was 2 Shit Hit the Fan Newses ago. I think it was in August. August Shit the Fan News. I was talking about Ehud Barak. He's the guy that was in cahoots with Jeffrey Epstein, communicating back and forth and transferring money to Jeffrey Epstein. His emails got leaked online, right? He's one of these dirty, nasty people, man. Well, she straight up came out and named his ass. We had a number of California politicians threaten to arrest ICE agents for perceived infractions of California state law. And I thought that this was really funny because immigration is basically the only thing that the federal government is charged with doing. It's the only power that the federal government was really given in the Constitution. Like, the federal government does all the shit it was never given the power to do. It's one of my gripes with it. But immigration, it's very clearly spelled out that the federal government has the power to decide how much immigration is going to happen, decide if it's not going to happen, all that kinds of stuff. And so California politicians, it just shows you how stupid they are, man. Just dumb as fuck, seriously, to try and take a stand against ICE for that. Indictments have been dropping on dirty, nasty people that went after their political opponents when Biden was in office, like Letitia James. She's been indicted, right? But here's the thing. This really highlights a concern of mine that I've been talking about on the channel, and that is that moving forward, whoever is in power is going to target their political opposition. That's where we are, man. And that's why I think we're headed straight for a civil war or a revolutionary war, depending on how it turns out. But that's where we're at. And you have more Democrat politicians talking about how when they gain power again, when they get another Democrat president in office, they want to go after everybody on the right that was going after the illegal immigrants, for example. They're talking about targeting individual ICE agents and trying them and locking them up and throwing away the key. That's where we're at, guys. Don't expect to see this change. As a matter of fact, expect to see it get worse and worse and worse. We're heading down the road that leads to extremism on both sides. One of them's going to take power, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm way more concerned that the progressives are going to take power, because progressives last century are the ones that led all the mass murders around the world. There's no record of conservatives committing mass murder. But you could also say there's a first time for everything. I think I'm going to wrap it right there, dudes. I hope it wasn't too long. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. If you want to help support us, go down and check out my Patreon link in the description. I also have tons and tons of extra content on there. I hope you guys have been liking the shorts as well. I've been doubling up on efforts to produce those and drop them regularly, so comments down below if you appreciate it and you like it. That's it, dudes. I'll see you all on the next one.